You're listening to Anything But Competitive by Geeks First, the show that brings trading card games to life with the latest news, reviews, and table talk. Here's your host, Jacob.
That's crazy. I don't want to do all that. It needs to be dark. I'm a nerd. I don't need the lights.
Let there be darkness. Oh, wait. Let there be darkness. Let there be light.
Oh, jeez.
Spoiler alert, you probably saw the first thing we'll talk about.
I did.
Oh, man. Ay, caramba. Look at me. I exist. I don't know why. I just decided to put this hat on because I had like the hat laying there and I said, okay, let's just use an available hat. And this was the available hat. So welcome to this episode of Anything But Competitive. Special guest Alex back, not the Kite, but Alex, although the Kite is back today too. Alex, how are you?
Kite. I'm good. Just getting everything prepped for Worlds. I'm realizing how much I'm gonna have to bring, and so I'm very much prepping myself for whatever the hell I'm about to bring back, let alone what I bring there.
There's a term, I think they say, logistics is a mother. Yep. That's the term I was always told.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I mean, like I'm I know what I want to bring, but I'm definitely one of those people, especially now knowing that like how much Sage I'm playing and how much Commoner I'm going to be playing, and I'm bringing it's like 3 classic constructed decks, one of them so my buddy can play in the battle hardened, and 2 for myself, and then also a living legend deck, and then also 14 Sage decks, and also 3 Commoner decks.
Yep.
And I gotta get all that, and a binder, and a playmat, and everything. And so I'm just like, I think I'm just gonna chuck it in my check bag and just like,
as long as it's packed pretty well. I mean, I've actually taken my version of the round the table box, which is just a 1,000 count, prettier version. It went through TSA, and granted, I would not recommend. I mean, if you have a standard white box like these, you can put tape on the outside and they'll be perfectly fine. But that one, because it had pretty artwork on it, when I put the tape on it and pulled the painter's tape off, it ripped all the nice art off of it. But yeah, if you just go get 2 or 3 of these, it'll weigh a lot. Like this will weigh 5 or 6 pounds fully loaded, I think. So just know that.
yeah.
Because I need to probably talk to you about getting. I think there's a couple promos or playmats that I'm interested in, so I might have to figure out what that is. But yeah, that's on the horizon. And actually, it's good you kind of mentioned Worlds, because right now there's not a lot known. I mean, Sage is known. We know that the format exists, but there's still a lot of like nobody really knows. Like you said in another episode, I think, is there going to be a living legend system? Is there going to be there's some other things that nobody has the full scope of. So with that said, this is our best knowledge of where we're going to take this episode today, which is staple cards, or cards that you really want to have for the format, which we've been kind of bouncing back and forth ideas, and I'm glad we finally were able to get together here, because I know we've been kind of coordinating a little bit on that. So that's kind of you're super busy with Worlds, man, and that's I can't wait. We were talking about our LGS the other day. We were there for I guess the weekly armory night, and we stayed like almost an hour after. We were all talking about different things. Everything Worlds came up, and just living legend and some other things. So it's interesting that all the different parts of this are all combining together for kind of this culmination coming up in the next is it the next weekend, right? It's not this weekend, but it's the 14th, 15th,
it's
and
next
16th.
Weekend. Yeah.
And there's the keynote.
And so Thursday is the keynote.
That's what I was going to say. Thursday is on keynote.
So.
Which are you going to try to like live retreat? They typically do a live stream of that, so you'll just be in the audience.
They do a live stream of it. I'm not going to do any kind of live recording or anything. If I'm doing anything there, I'm going to be probably just doing some very, like maybe afterthoughts videos when we learn more about what hero legality is going to look like in Sage, or even talking about pen stuff. I've got a couple creators that want to collab and do like a practically on-site podcast episode for
coordinating
common language. And so I'm like,
that's one of the things that I tried to do at Gen Con. It fell through a little bit. Logan was one of the folks I was going to try and do that with. But it is really hard to coordinate to get people, especially at a bit like, I mean, Gen Con's hundreds of times bigger than what the event is.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like, this is just fab people. Like, this is only going to be fab people. But I also think, like, I made the plans with these folks previously. Like, after I had Andrew from Dice Commando over on the channel, we talked off camera and we were just like, yeah, like that'd be super great. Like, just he'll bring his like lapel mics and the camera. Like, and just we'll sit down somewhere, grab a beer. Maybe if we have the courtesy of having a dev come over and talk about Sage and its stuff, we could have them pop in for a little bit and then have our own conversation. And so we're working on that. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Not the end of the world. We'll have other opportunities. But I know it's weird having a lot of people. I think that's the other thing. Not that this is like some kind of weird humble brag bullshit, but like, it's weird having so many people that I have yet to meet in person want my attention so much in the event. So I'm already preparing that, like, I purchased a Go Again package and I plan to play in side events, but I know that probably I'm not going to be playing in as many side events as I expected, which is fine because I much rather just be there for vibes. As long as I can buy something off the prize wall, that's all I care about. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think, as it was said, right, we all kind of had our specialties, and this is really when I would say the commoner, the low end budget format. This is the time that they're shining between now and in February or March. When these come out, this was kind of what I was hoping for. I mean, I like UPF a lot, and I really want UPF to continue to flourish, but again. The odds of me launching a UPF game here in my area are about as likely as me getting on a ship to go to the moon. It's not happening. So I would take either. I would play UPF and I'd go to the moon. Totally. I really want to go to the moon. Hell, I'll go to Mars for all that matters. But anyways, it's one of those things where I think that there is a greater likelihood of getting a group together to play Sage stuff than there is for UPF, just because the nature of Sage. There's some, I don't say internal discourse, but our local group is interesting to hear the dichotomy. I think I've kind of offline told you about this, but there is some discourse, not in a bad way, but just the one.
It sounds like it's in a bad way.
One or two of the people just are kind of the opinion that why play Sage when they can play LL and experience the full power of the heroes they want to play with. And maybe I kind of can see a little bit of that, but at the same token,
and those people have money, right? And those people can afford to do that. And that's definitely like, I am not against people, not to like cut you off here, but like, I'm not against people not wanting to play Sage because they feel like the power level's too low. That's understandable, right? The point of the power, first and foremost, when you can still win a game within 2 turns in a low power format,
I'm seeing a lot of
it's still pretty high power.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still very high power. But secondly, the purpose of the format is not to be like, here's the busted stuff you could have done in 2022. It's, here's a slew of heroes that maybe you didn't get to play and you want to play them, but you don't have the money to play them at high power. Send $30 to TCG Player, get the cards, and you have a deck now to play. Like, that's what its purpose is. It's not about like, oh, I'm not getting the same rush as, playing Art of War in a ninja. Like, oh, I'm not feeling as good about it, or I don't get to play Skeleton Visceri and stack a whole bunch of rune chants and then play a Sonata Arcanix and whiff anyway, even though X is like 12 or some nonsense. Like,
how about this? I will attempt to politely ask to maybe get, if they're willing to chat on a camera at some point, for those folks to maybe have a sidebar, because I would love to have that other aspect and kind of be, I don't say a mediator. It's not like it's going to be an evil conversation, but just have that our side, I guess, where we like Sage a lot, or we like the budget format, and then it's not that I don't think, and again, I'm not trying to put words in this gentleman's mouth, but I don't think it's not that they don't like Sage. I just think that there is a proclivity to the wanting to play the cards that really fill out that hero. So I'll see if I can maybe get that scheduled at some point after Worlds, of course. I know you're terribly busy between now and then, but that's not the reason why we're here today. But the reason we're here today is to talk about, I'm going to call it the top 10 list with some honorary missions, because I know that we have a couple of different cards that I've kind of passed back and forth, and I got a list of things when I asked some other folks here. But I'd like to put together a list of either core or some people call them staple cards, but just in general, 10 cards that for Sage, I highly recommend you just have in your back pocket. Now, if you put them in your back pocket and you sit down, they will bend. So maybe you don't actually want to put them in your back pocket. For that, I do recommend buying a deck box. There are plenty of options that are out there, right? You could look at deck boxes like this from Ultimate Guard, not sponsored.
I was about to say, is this when you're gonna drop that you have an accessories sponsor that I didn't know about?
No.
That's gonna be crazy to me. That's nuts.
This is our segue into our not sponsor. Or you can keep them in your Ultimate Guard binder. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I really do like these binders are phenomenal stuff. But yeah, no, just seriously though, don't put me, man, I really wish I had a sponsor now. I kind of do.
But that's the cool thing, is you can put them in your back pocket, because guess what? It costs you probably a couple cents to get some of these cards. So
see, and that's the
do
parody
whatever you want with it.
That's the parody we can
put
do.
It in a rubber band.
I want to have a tournament where we do a Sage tournament where it's called the Cheeto Wars, and it's literally everyone plays with the absolute grungiest crap. You have to, in order to play the cards, you just have Cheetos on your fingers, or there's random crap just to have fun. Just
Ew, that's gross. I don't think you need to dirty yourself up for it, but maybe playing an unsleeved deck that doesn't have double-sided cards, that'd be fun. I want everybody to roll up to the armory with just a rubber band around their 55 cards.
I keep rubber bands
slam
to
it
this
on the
day.
table.
This is that's the old school way of doing it.
You want to talk about a deck box? That's a deck box right there. That's a premium deck box.
Where's my... do I have a stack of cards around here? I don't. I have plenty of cards, but anyways, screw it.
What do you mean you don't have a stack of cards?
There are cards all over the place. Boop. All right, well, I missed the camera. All right, anyways, we're going to go on to the top, the number 10. We're going to start with numero 10. Alex, I will go ahead and I'm going to change over here. So I'm going to disappear for a second. It is none other than a piece of equipment that we feel is pretty decent. So, Alex, I'll let you do some introduction here on this Steel Blade Buckler, which is a Guardian equipment offhand. Why is this on the Sage list?
The reason it's on the Sage list is because that number in the bottom right says 2 and not 1, and it has temper, which means that this blocks 3 effectively and not 2. If you're not aware of, just to give you some insight into the overall meta, I had quite a long discussion with, not a super long discussion, but Nathan and I over on the Common Language podcast, we had a discussion talking about what the meta looks like, and it's a lot of heroes that can block very well. And you know what doesn't cost you cards in your hand? Good armor that blocks. So Guardians oftentimes will get the best, blocking armor for that number. And Steelblade Buckler is not only a hard card for me to say, apparently, but also just a really good offhand. So if you're running a hammer, just having that in the side is good. And
I'll throw this out there because I was just making sure before I said this, but there is a common card that came out in Dynasty that would also pair really well with this. That's actually legal in Sage. Reinforced Steel. Remove a -1 counter from a Guardian offhand you control with 3 or less base. So if you really wanted to, you could actually run this and get even more value out of it in the long run. Although maybe not necessarily the best for your deck, but hey, if you're really thinking it'll go for a while and you're not facing an Intimidate Rhinar, then you'll have a blast.
It'll be a good time. Well, at least at that point, right? Because isn't that an instant speed or is that an action card? I can't remember.
It's a Guardian action card.
It's
Cost
an action
2.
card, okay? Because I was like, well, because what you can do into Rhinar is you can play not on the list of anything that I have, but well, you know what? We're gonna get off topic. we'll go to the next. What's the next piece of equipment?
All right, next on the list, number 9 comes in as a interesting card that I would say is pretty cool. It is none other than Bloodied Oval. This is a what I typically would refer to as a card that I would have played in UPF. I mean, really, this is one of those ones that even though it came out in heavy hitters, I felt like this was really a UPF card. But for Sage, it seems like it's pretty decent. I mean, its defense is equal to the number of opposing heroes with greater life than you, so it can be interesting. So why is this at number 9? It is an offhand and it is generic.
Yep.
So I like generics. I did want to put generics in this list too, and I think that was one of the things that we were trying to balance, was keeping some class cards and some generic cards. So walk me through the Bloodied Oval.
Yeah. I mean, effectively, it's just another opportunity for you to block out a breakpoint. If you're at lower life total than your opponent and you have the capability of having an offhand and one-handed weapon, I know that several heroes have the accessibility of multiple one-handed weapons. Rune Blades have access to things like Scepter of Pain, so they can play Scepter of Pain and also Bloodied Oval if you're looking for like a more defensive style Florian build. Of course, you can run this in with like Syndra even if you're just trying to have like one like dagger and then swing a dagger and then just buy it back during the next turn. You're more than likely not blocking, so your life total might be less than your opponent, which means you at least have one more block here on top of the other armor you might be running. So there's just other opportunities for it, but it's also generic, which is kind of a big deal when you have multiple different classes requiring, in a 20 health format that you live long enough and you get to keep cards in your hand. It's important that
I had to
you have
stop
that.
the cat. So that was number 9, the Bloodied Oval. Now, number 8, which is also going to be a really fun one here. This one, I am for sure positive that some people should already own. And if you don't, it is reasonably easy to acquire still. This is the Null Rune set. And for those that don't know, Kano is real and can hurt you. And so can any other, character that can.
So can Icelander, so can Verdant,
Arcane.
so can Acilio. Like, they'll kill you.
And
they will find a way.
Because these are all generic, again, they can go with any hero class, which is great. And Arcane Barrier is just a useful bit. So what else do you want to add to this? I mean, I really don't know if there's too much to belabor about it. It's just solid.
It's necessary to have. It's just necessary to have. There are some matches that it does not matter that you have Arcane Barrier, right? Because if you're sending enough damage to your opponent, you might not need it. But it is pretty important to have regarding that, because it is just like you're out to your opponent's big arcane damage. Some people have effects that if arcane damage was dealt, do X thing on hit, right?
Yep.
And you can block out the physical damage, but if your opponent's sending a bunch of arcane damage at you and you could have just pitched 2 cards from your hand to block out that damage and then still send damage at your opponent and not worry about like a threatening life total, it feels better. A lot of these warriors, they can play on your turn also. Or not warriors, I'm sorry, wizards can play on your turn also. And so it's very important to keep that in mind.
Almost one warrior who could have, but he who shall not be named is illegal in the Sage format because he is technically a Royal Draconic Warrior Wizard. But
he couldn't play on your turn anyway.
But he's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior wizard, and it's the wizard part of him that lets you play. You also don't have Stormstriders, which is the thing that allowed him to play on your turn.
Well, I know. Okay, fine. I'm wrong.
I will not let you have it. The Emperor will stay dead. Let him die.
But my blaze shall remain forever immortal in the stack of the Dragon Lords. Anyways.
Quite.
So, up next, we have another kind of an interesting one here. And this is one that's really fun to say because I say it wrong a lot. Sophocles suede hides, which basically is a fun little leg.
You did in fact say it wrong.
Yeah. Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe suede hides. Yeah. Sutcliffe suede hides. This is, I like this one a lot just because this is the Runeblade Snapdragon scalers, right? Most Runeblades, besides maybe Aurora, are playing a non-attack action into an attack action. And so if you have the resources, which most people do, you can just pay one resource, give that attack go again if it doesn't already have it, and then continue on with a stronger chain, which will benefit you in the long run if you're trying to push damage in a go tall deck already. So
it is a destroy this though, so it is a one-time kind of a thing, but it could change the tide of what you're doing. I mean, it really could give you the tempo.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to just like send lethal damage at your opponent. They might be like, oh, I'm at 9 life, I'll just take 6 damage from my opponent and not worry about anything. And then it's like, boom, Sutcliffes, give it go again. Send another 6 points of damage. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, So
now here's another interesting one. The next card is a weapon, which I know originally I wasn't sure if I was going to say was part of this kind of whole concept because I was thinking of cards. But if you think about it, weapons are just as important as armor, and they're just as important as the card in your deck. I mean, they truly shape what the hero can do. Now, this does happen to be another Guardian card, so, it kind of does lend toward Guardians being definitely interesting in this. And this is none other than the real interesting Sledge of Anvilheim. I think I said that right. And it does cost 4. It's a 4 attack, but it is a freaking 6. It is just a monster swinger. And because it's rare, that means good old Sage is allowing you to go rage with the hammer. I don't know. I was thinking of something fun to say with that.
It's definitely really powerful, and I think the best part is that it presents 6 damage. It's kind of that block 8 send 6 or block 6 send 8, like in some weird ways. But usually, if you're blocking 6 or even just a little bit less, like you usually have the resources, especially in Guardian, to pitch into something and then pitch into Sledge for that amount. And I do think that it's a great way to counter other Guardian like fatigue plans. Gotcha. If you're going into it. But it's going to be a hot commodity. I promise you. It's a very, very good hammer.
And I don't know as much Guardian as I wish I did. So, I mean, it's one of those classes that I just haven't really played much. But you know what? Sage is going to give me the opportunity to play it a little bit more and kind of really understand the fund. I mean, the biggest thing about Sage to me is it's going to help me understand the fundamentals of a lot of things, because I feel like I've taught myself wrong over the years on some things. But it also will help me learn classes that I just traditionally haven't played. So now that we are halfway through, I'm going to name a couple of other cards that were given as in my text chat here, options that I know we're not talking about, but it is something that we can possibly raise up. Some of these being Snatch, Blossom, or Garland of Spring, which that's kind of like the generic Tunic, which I didn't think was on our list, but honestly, that's one of those cards you buy one or the other. They're they're freaking good. Razor Reflex is another interesting one that was discussed. Reinforce the Line, Pummel. I still don't know how Pummel is not, I don't know. I don't understand that one, but still there.
It's good.
We didn't also have Unmovable. And then I think Humble is another one that's on this list that was sent to me. And those are, as I was told, the top generic picks that were given to me by one of the guys. And then my Brute player said, Knucklehead, 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 Beaten Trackers, Knucklehead.
Beaten Trackers. Now that is also a good freaking card. Like, that is a great piece of equipment. Beaten Trackers is just so insane. That card is so good. It's
So,
my gosh, there's a lot there.
That was the segue of the halftime show, and those are other cards that you can get. And Unga Boonga shall give you the Brute, because when he rolls his Scapskins, and well, you can't use this, but I don't know, his luck is just so ridiculous with what he has played some ridiculous games against us. And without further ado, we will go into yet another G word, the Guardian. Alex, I think this is one of those ones that I definitely agreed. Now, there's a little bit more on here than probably should be, because Bravant shows up when you do the word civic, but the civic sets, as you called it, which is the each one giving you a vigor, a might, those are the cat, draw a card, or the quicken token. So what else do you want to say about these? Obviously, Guardian's getting some love in here for sure.
Guardian's got such good pieces of equipment, and like not all of these need to be run at all times. Obviously, Civic Steps is probably your best choice of foot piece for a Guardian. These are significantly better than like some of the later picks that we have for these like equipment set stuffs.
Sure.
But the only downside for these, right? There is a downside, is that they do give your opponent those tokens, right? They give your opponent a vigor or a might, or it has them draw a card. And so there are opportunities in which it might not be beneficial, but when you're blocking that much with those,
it's eight block plus. It out, like, well, actually, it's more than 8, because it's 2 on each and then temper.
It's 12 block.
So yeah, that's a lot.
12 block plus a Steel Braid Buckler, like that's 15 block in total on just one hero, and they don't have to give up a single card.
20 life format.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It's good.
All right, the next card, none other than something from the OG original, the Flavor Saver, the Harmonized Kodachi. This is one of those cards that's just there's almost nothing bad to ever say about this card. Like, I have died more times to this card.
Best.
I have died so many times to Kodachi locks. It's I mean, it even came, I think it was redone in Outsiders. This version that I had up here was Outsiders, but I know it's in WTR.
Yeah.
It's a token. There's even like fancier versions if you so see fit to get them. I think there's foil crew versions too, I think, if I remember right. There's there's a right side and a left, like there's actually a reversed version if you're interested in those, if you want to go for the more exotic upgrades. But
yeah, Kodachi's just so good. Being able to get your opponent down under 3 life and just go, okay, cool, like here's a card. This is your hell for the rest of this. Like, so you have to send this. Like, sometimes you're okay taking 1. Obviously, some heroes benefit from playing Kodachis better than others, like Ira. But even still, like, even on Benji, it's still like, oh god, like, I still have to really, like, prevent this damage, because you're not going to be able to prevent the other points of damage that are coming through when they send two power attacks at you, or 1 power attack. So it's just really good. Yeah. I love the Kodachis, and it's just a staple for ninjas. Because, like, why not?
One of the upcoming videos that I'm working on that I've been trying to map out is I want to do kind of a ninja, all the ninja heroes, every single one of them in Sage, because I really fell in love with playing, Katsu in CC with the Dishonor line, which I know is not necessarily available in, Sage. Maybe there'll be something similar in a different capacity, or I don't know. They might. One of the crazy rumors I'm hearing going around is like something about they're going to downshift certain Majestics or rares just to be able to put. I don't see why they would do that, but maybe they would. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. So, regardless, there are some interesting play patterns with those, and I think I could still do, like, there might be 1,000 win combo, or there might be some. There's so many interesting combos you can try to do combos. That would be exciting, which leads me into, and I'm going to let you totally take this, because I actually don't think I understand this very well. You referred to this as the Tiger package. So I'm going to go and flip to the screen here. Hopefully this is everything you're talking about. If not, we'll look for it. But this is my search of everything Silver Age that has the word Tiger that is in a rare and common format. So take it away.
So what you're looking for here is more specifically the, if you scroll down a little bit, it technically shows all three of them there. It's Tearing Shuko, Blood Scent, and Pouncing Paws. So scroll up just like a tad bit. There you go. So Tearing Shuko is the arm piece. Blood Scent is the chest piece that's right below it. And then Pouncing Paws is the leg piece to the right. These three pieces of equipment are so core to what Ninja is doing in these budget formats, in these low health formats, because this is the most Ninja has ever been able to block, probably ever, in a budget format. And so what this does is you pretty much just save this until your kill turn. If you need to push tempo into your opponent, maybe you notice that they're not blocking a whole lot, you effectively can just create a Crouching Tiger at instant speed by breaking your boots. You can give that Tiger +2 power by breaking your arm piece. And then you can place that Tiger, destroy your chest piece to get a resource, and then play a 1-cost Chain Ender, something like, even if you just have like another red in hand, you can pitch it to play something like a Key Unleashed, which will come in for 7 if you're playing the red, to just send over more damage because you played a Crouching Tiger. The way these things line up is so incredibly powerful that it really is just kind of like you're stripping everything from your opponent's hand, you get them down to a really, really low life total, and then they get stuck in Kadachi Lock, which is right where you want them to be, because that's how that works. So that Tiger package that I call, because it's effectively all these cards care about a Crouching Tiger, right? They give a Crouching Tiger +2, they create a Crouching Tiger, and they give you a resource if you played a Crouching Tiger. This also is really important because it does it all at instant speed, because you don't have to break the chain. So effectively everything here can continue pushing forward if you have like a Salt the Wound. If you want to play Salt the Wound at the end and be like, okay, cool, like this thing hit, this thing hit, this thing hit, now I send a Salt the Wound for 5 or 6 or something. And that's a ton of value off of that without having to break the chain at all. And they all have Battle Worn 1, which means that you can block with them and still keep them around. So,
and that seems to be
just
very
the best
important
value.
Sage.
Yeah. I mean, I put it in my Syndra deck. Like I built a Syndra deck and for the A to Z series, and I thought to myself, while I was building this deck, I said, I would be doing a disservice to this hero if I was playing Danger Digits, which is the once per turn flick knife effect. I'm like, it's cute because that's what she does in CC, but it's not what she's going to do to get results in Sage.
And because you're missing out on the extra health, basically. You're just giving away free points of value. It's a very different mindset. I'd much rather have an arm piece that blocks for 1 and then gives +2 to another attack than an arm piece that just destroys one of my daggers, deals 1 damage, and then I can buy it back and then never blocks. Like, it's just not as good. And so it's a package that, I kid you not, I think in every single Ninja, maybe not Katsu, but probably still Katsu, I'd play this entire set. Maybe not the Blood Scent. The Blood Scent is like different, but it depends on how many blues you're running. But like an all red power deck that you just want to send a bunch of damage to your opponent, you get a free resource, just like playing a Blossom of Spring or something at instant speed, and you get 2 extra damage on your board, maybe 3 if you're Ira, right? Like, I could talk about this set all day. It's incredibly powerful in the format. Well, that was at number 3, and at number 2, we ended up going with none other than a Warrior two-handed. So two-handed weapons are very important, apparently. But the Decimator Great Axe, which is a two-handed, 3 for 4, which has a super interesting bonus of the first time it's defended by a non-equipment card each turn, halves the base of target defending card rounded up. So it does give extra value, because most 3s would then be a 2 as it states, and a 4 would be a 2. So even really trying to effectively block this becomes problematic if you're at low life totals.
Yeah, it's really the best warrior weapon ever. I think it's just so good, and especially in a format where you're already wanting to block right off the bat. If you don't block, you take 4 damage, which is still quite a bit. It's almost a third, or almost a fourth of your whole life total. This also gets paired up with other actions inside a warrior deck that allow you to pump up that damage. So it's got weird like assassin capabilities, because it's like it comes in, it reduces your opponent's block value, and then also you can pump up its power to send even more. So the good news is that if your opponent says, oh, I just want to use this 1 D-react to block out your weapon, that D-react now gets blocked for half if it's the only card that's defending it. If they block with a card from hand and then play a D-react, the D-react won't get halved. That first card will. So there's a lot of intricacies, and a lot of different warriors can use it in different ways. I've played into like Fang on Decimator Great Axe. I've played into Bolton on Decimator Great Axe. I've played into Kasai on Decimator Great Axe, and like everyone does it a little bit different, but the concept is always the same. Fatigue your opponent, send small amounts of damage, get them to the point where they have to block with more than 1 card, and then just keep stripping away their hands turn after turn after turn until you fatigue them. But I think this is certainly more of my personal pick. I like this card a lot because it is like the answer to a lot of these very highly defensive Guardian builds. And so you get to play it a little bit different based on who you're there with. But yeah.
Well, and technically last but not least, or first, is probably one that I know most people that have at least looked at Sage probably would be like, duh. And I think that this is probably, hands down, until something else comes out, one of the single most important things for you to have access to. And the price on these right now is a little bit weird. I think that there was a little bit of a buyout on these from what I can kind of gather. Some vendors have them, but they do single-handedly at the moment make your $20 Sage deck go very close to that almost $14 range just to get this 4 cards we're about to talk about. But it is none other than the Blade Beckoner set. So barring that they have kind of a little bit more in price at the moment, what do you think about, what do you want to say about the Blade Beckoner set?
You just have to have it. If you're planning on playing Sage before Pen comes out, right? Because Pen is probably where we're going to see, they had mentioned in the dev talk that new equipment is going to be brought in at at rare or common or whatever. That's going to help flourish Silver Age. It's going to help bloom Silver Age in a way that is beneficial for this. And currently, again, these budget formats, playing them for as long as we have, the one thing that is most important is how does your math look on your stuff, right? And these are sip cards, right? These are starts and play, stays and play cards that are necessary for your overall game plan, because it allows you to not use cards from your hand to prevent damage, which means that you can have a tempo swing in a 20 health format. So you're going to need these. I mean, it's so important to the fact that Icelander, a wizard, is running 3 of these pieces of armor at any given time because it's just so good. Like, it's just, you'd much rather block 3 or even block 6 sometimes over the course of a game than not at all. And it just gives you an edge. It gives you an additional 6 life, 8 life, depending on who you're playing.
Well, it could be good against Decimator Great Axe. It could be good against Kadachi. It could be good against, Anvil, or the Sledge. I mean, it really is, as long as somebody's using a weapon, which I don't know of many heroes that don't. I mean, Wizard, excluding. I mean, I guess Icelander still technically. I don't know. It's
Wizard. Rangers don't use weapons. You have technically illusionists sometimes don't. Enigma does technically because her auras are weapon attacks. But outside of that, it's pretty much illusionists, wizards, rangers. Gravy Bone, the necromancer, doesn't have a weapon.
They got a compass.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, they can see what direction this block value is coming in from.
Seeing a direction, that reminds me, isn't there a card from it's a common, it's the scout looking gal. You can look at a top card of a deck. Beyond or something? No.
Scout the Periphery?
Hold on. No, it's not Scout the Periphery.
You can look at the top card of your deck?
Yeah, top card. There it is, On the Horizon. It's a common from C. When this defends, look at the top card of your deck. It's a 4 defense card. It's a generic block. So again, and it does mention a fabled in it, Tropaldani. So that is kind of also a really kind of a neat little flavor grab. But that'd be another honorable mention that I'd put in this. Would say that's a worthwhile card to pick up.
Certainly.
And again, all these.
And I know this. I was going to say, I know that the ones that we had gone over on this list are strictly equipment. Do you have? I mean, are there? What are some cards that you think that go inside a main deck that are also like staples? I have a list of things that I would consider the top 10. So
I'm a huge fan of generics again. Like I was pulling out some cards. Wage Gold, I actually been starting to want to run that in actually my Puffin deck. I've been trying to look at running it. May not be top tier, but because it has universal, which let me go pull this up just to show off for those that haven't seen it.
Also the only card that has universal ever printed on it.
But it's such an interesting concept. It really is. It's so this card here, Wage Gold, it's universal, so it's generic, but it actually is your class, which can make things interesting. And you get to wager a gold, and obviously it's a 3 for 7, so that's not terrible, but it's also, there's blue versions of this, there's yellow versions of it, and it doesn't defend for 3, but the fact that it counts as your class in Mechanologist specifically, I'm looking at this, does some pretty fun stuff.
For sure. I mean, I could see like Puffin utilizing that, right? You're wagering a gold with your opponent, and you're probably running enough blues to do something like that.
Puffin needs her gold, a lot of gold.
Puffin needs gold. She needs it, so it's a very interesting thing to run. I think it's a fun card.
I mean, other ones, again, looking for a scrap, I think was one that was thrown. I know is good. I mean, when you start removing the ban list cards, it gets a little bit more complicated because I was looking at a lot of the generic stuff. But if you start getting into classes, I mean, 0 to 60 in mech, because I'm a mech person. 0 to 60 is a great card. What's some stuff you got?
So my list, I'll just give you my top 10, and you just chime in on which you think is like just the most insane thing ever. Number 10 is Findall's Fighting Spirit.
Well, that's
the card is
Bolander
really
stuff,
good.
yeah.
But it's really good because again, it heals you and it comes in for 7, which is a breakpoint, so helps later in the game. Very good card. Number 9, as mentioned even previously, is Unmovable.
Yes.
Unmovable is incredibly good. It's a generic defense reaction that is available for everybody. It costs 3 resources. This card is so good, especially if you're going into a Guardian or you're going into a Ranger.
Especially the
you can
red
just
one.
park this in Arsenal.
Yep.
Yeah. Pitch. It comes in it blocks 8. It's insane. My number 8 pick is Bittering Thorns.
Okay.
Bittering Thorns is pretty good. It's it costs 1, so it's not like the most above rate, but it is a breakpoint that threatens another +1 point of damage. So effectively, it's a it's quite on rate for what it's worth, but it is always something that most people tend to feel like they need to block.
Ira loves
And
this card.
that is, yeah, it's so great. But yeah, especially because if Ira can play this, Kadachi have this come in for 5,
Yep.
and then on hit have the other thing come in for another +1.
So it's
very good.
1 Bittering Thorns for, like you said, 5, and then the next one's 2. So you got 3 cards that give you either you take 1 and 2 because you're not going to want to block this, and even if you throw 1 card out, you're still taking 2. So it's like this card tore me up in my CC games against the Ira that we were playing. So it's good in multiple formats.
Yep. Speaking of another card that's really good, Jacob, did you know that Warriors could run 3 or 6 copies of Steelblade Shunt?
Well, you mean? Well, I know that the Steelblade Shunt is in multiple colors, so
yeah.
What?
And did you know that legally you can play all copies of Steelblade Shunt in your deck
because you run
as a warrior?
2, 2, and 2, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Steelblade Shunt is such an insane card in my testing that I've done. Everybody has complained that there are no D-reacts in Sage. There's just no way to D-react. It's awful. But when you look at Steelblade Shunt, that thing costs 1 resource, and it's a D-react that blocks for 6, 5, and 4 respectively. And if it's blocking a weapon, it deals a damage to the opponent.
So at best, if you're, let's say, have a Decimator or even a Kadachi on the other side, and you're throwing these against it, yeah, you might overblock, but you're also dealing a damage. So that is a total of 6 damage that you're dealing offensively back to the opponent.
Yeah, I mean, and also you're gonna want to like block with a card from hand first to then block with something like maybe like a blue Steelblade Shunt. I don't know that I'd ever run the. Well, I guess there's probably a world in which I'd run the red Steelblade Shunts into like an opposing Decimator Great Axe build because they get halved, right? So like if you only block with the D-react, it'll go from block 6 to block 3, which is still 1 point off from the value there, but you do get the ping, which is really important towards the end game. So if you can just save all your Steelblade Shunts to the end of the game and then just send those at your opponent probably won't be able to block out that damage and prevent anything there, so you get full value. Super good. Another card I want to bring up is Burn Up Shock.
Okay, see,
which is
one of those I was not really familiar. This is one of the split cards, and this would be more for Ruin Blade. So I have not personally played this, but I do the split cards, man. They are just such crazy, especially with this instant. So walk me through. I mean, you basically get both sides, from my understanding. It is. I mean, it's a 0 cost, right? Yeah, 0 cost.
Yep.
3 defense. So I mean, that check, right? Like, absolutely cool. It's rare. The one side gets go again. This one gets. So how does that work then? If you Mel, you may play one or both sides of this card. Each cost 0. So okay. Walk me through, because how hard is it to play both?
So you can play both all the time, pretty much, except for when it's on your opponent's turn. So think about one half of that card as an instant that you can play on either person's turn, and you're just dealing 1 arcane damage to them.
Yep.
The burn up side of that, though, is an action that just says the next time an attack you control hits a hero, it deals 4 arcane damage to them. So
basically,
you can play this. Yeah.
You play this for
it's
0.
just like
you have a kind of a boom grenade sitting there, and then you're saying take the 1 damage or take 5.
It does not actually stack on the shock. So what happens here is the shock is not an attack. It is just simply a point of damage that you are targeting somebody for. But it is just 1 point of damage that's either arcane that they block out, or you can do something like kill a rigor mortis, or you can kill an ashwing,
you're doing
something,
it to
right?
Yeah, I get it. Your allies that you have out there.
Yep,
so this
you
would
can kill allies,
this would kill
or
Poly.
Yes, it would kill Poly, but obviously you can't play Poly in Sage. But like, this is
I'm very sad about that. I need a common bird. I need a common bird so that I can play Poly. I need like Poly Light. I need like Poly, like, something different. I don't know. But
I don't know. It's a pretty interesting effect. I think it'd be way too powerful in Sage, if I'm going to be honest. But it's I think that Burn Up Shock, at least, and how it works is, again, you're kind of exactly doing that. You're playing a boom grenade, right? You're playing a boom grenade and also trying to ping your opponent for 1. You can target an ally or you can target them. You're usually targeting them. And then everything you swing at them from that point forward, it has an additional deal 4 arcane damage to them.
And
which
if
is
you were
really,
doing
really
physical
good.
damage, then this is also unblockable for if you don't have any AB, which is why you should have AB, especially against a Rune Blade.
Yep. Rune Blade, you should at least have AB1, but this is like one of those things where you got to hope you block out well enough. And if you do, that's awesome. If you don't, like, it just, it's kind of a feels bad. But the card is just so good. I love it a lot.
What's your next one?
Next one is Staunch Response, another D-React for the Guardian class.
That is
from all the way back in WTR.
Fun fact about this card. When I sort cards, I absolutely adore this photo. Like, this photo here is just like, I think Minds of Moria. And like, the art on this is one of the few pieces of art from WTR that like, this just evokes such an interesting feeling in myself. And I don't know why.
Right.
But like
who the hell is Ragnar Frosthelm? Why have we never heard that name anywhere else? Like, who is this person? Are they a guardian of Aria? Is this, when this was made, is this just a generic, like, you look like you could be a Viking, guardian kind of card? It's very interesting. But overall, I think its rate is insane.
Well,
like,
it's
you
2 for
Unmovable
7.
Was good.
It's 2 for 7, and it is, technically a 6 for 10 if you really needed to.
Yep.
And the funniest thing about this card, and the reason I am also so laughing at this all the time, is I really am a fan. I know you can't play it in this format, but 10 foot tall and bulletproof. This is like the only card that's like the answer to 10 foot tall and bulletproof in a single card. And it's like, dang it. So, anyways,
good.
It's an interesting card, and I would see why you'd put this on a really good. I mean, again, Guardian seems to just they're not paladins because they don't technically have paladins in the game yet, but it's the closest thing to me to when I play like True Dungeon. It feels like Guardians are paladins. It's like just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, your whole thing is protecting. It's protecting yourself and keeping your life total high, and then fatiguing down your opponent and getting them down to nothing. Like,
poor Brevant. I don't think Brevant is Sage legal.
No,
but
Brevant is not Sage legal. That's fine,
card.
though.
I think the protect card is though, isn't it?
Chivalry.
Is it?
I think it is.
Is it legal? I don't remember. Is Chivalry? I mean, it's just a Guardian block with protect, but because Brevant's the only one that lets you play more than, in this case, 2, you really can't do the, I don't know.
But also, it's only block 3, right?
Yeah, it's only block 3.
And it's a rare or a common?
It's a common.
Yeah, so like, it's playable, but like, you're not going to want to do that because you can't protect another person. Like, you can't protect your opponent when they're attacking you. You know what I mean?
I know.
So
I'm picking pepper out of fly poop.
Yeah. Next one is going to actually be Arcane Polarity. This is probably if you don't have Null Rune Armor.
This card. Yeah.
Arcane Polarity is good. Any hero, you're going to want to familiarize yourself with heroes that do arcane damage. And then effectively, anytime they deal arcane damage to you, you can just play this at instant speed and gain 4 life.
Yeah.
It's really, really effective into Rune Blades, because if they send a Rune Chant at you for 1, you can just take that 1 point of Rune Chant damage and then block out the rest of their stuff and then heal 4.
I do like the art on this a lot too. Like, this is another one of those cards. It's generic.
Gorgeous.
So because it's generic, it goes in a lot of decks. Probably super cheap. Pick up 3 copies. Well, I guess I'd still pick up 3 copies because you can have it for your CC deck, but 2 for Sage. 4 if you really want to play 2 Sage decks.
And you really just want the reds. This comes in other colors, but you really just want the reds because the reds give you the most value.
3 life.
The yellows gain 3, the blues gain 2. But overall, this is a card that if if arcane damage becomes like an absolutely outrageous thing in Sage in the meta, I could see you running 6 copies of this card. But that's an egregious thing. My next card is Snatch. I know it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Snatch is just really good. You're able to send 4 damage. It threatens an on-hit. Some heroes can give that card go again. Some can't, but that's fine because effectively you're just trying to set up an arsenal. So a lot of people utilize it as a chain ender, to where it's like, all right, you've blocked out everything else. Here's my chain ender. It's on-hit, draw a card so I can have an arsenal to set myself up for my next turn. So Snatch is really good. Pummel is my number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Pummel, again, right, as mentioned, it's just an incredibly powerful card, and it's the like biggest boon to a lot of these heroes that already get to utilize these go tall strategies. They also get to rip a card from your hand, and you probably don't have the D-React to deal with that, which is pretty good. But my number 1 pick, and the card that I've made several, maybe not several, I've made a...
Is it this card? Because that's my number 1
It's
pick.
not that card. Your number 1 card. T-Bone's pretty good, though, I gotta say. I actually just remember, I got reminded earlier on my Dash video that I made for A to Z that Scramble Pulse exists.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's a pretty freaking good card. Like, that's a good card. I completely forgot about Scramble Pulse.
Scramble Pulse is very interesting. Yeah, each equipment has -1. Yeah.
So good. Incredibly good. So I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to my Dash list and play that out. But my number 1 pick is actually a card that I and probably most of you have run into in the Sage queue, and probably will until they eventually ban this card. I'm almost certain they're going to ban this card as soon as possible. Sirens of Safe Harbor. That is the card I am expecting to get a ban pretty quickly, because it is, unlike Finals Fighting Spirit, which you have to be at less life than your opponent to gain a life. Sirens of Safe Harbor just says, block with me, gain a life. Attack with me, gain a life. And it's practically CNC stats of a 2-cost 6, and you gain a life one way or the other. Whether or not, if you block with it, then you are effectively blocking 3. If you are attacking with it, you're getting far more value, because now you're coming in for what is essentially 7 points of value. And you can play pummel on that thing. You can pummel that card. Not anything you should be doing, but you can pummel it, and it's really good. So, again, if you couldn't catch most of the cards that I'm saying are really good, it's because fatigue is kind of an insane thing in this format right now. For them removing as many fatigue options as they had available, fatigue is very good. And I think that it's something that is going to need to be touched on, and maybe we'll see some changes occur at Worlds when we learn more about the format's
we got about
future,
a week, and then we'll know everything there is to know about Sage and what the direction is going to be, whether there's going to be an LL system, whether they're going to superfluously allow certain heroes, or if they're going to say, here's some promos that are now commons or basics or whatever. That'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Genuinely curious would be what happens. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a lot there, but I don't know. I'm gonna hold out hope that it's just gonna be a way for me to still play whatever heroes I bring to Worlds, because if I bring 14 heroes to Worlds and I get there and they're like, so Sage is being released today as an official format, you can't play any of the heroes you brought. I'm like, no, this is gonna suck.
Statistically, that seems like that's unlikely. I would hope. So.
Yeah, statistically, but I've been unlucky before. I can do it again.
I can do it again. So, I think that's pretty much everything. So, I think the last thing to take away, just to folks that are at this point watching, Sage is intended to be the Mastery Pack Guardian of play. It is supposed to be accessible, easy, cheap, and hopefully, the cards will remain lowish value. Even if Blade Beckoner sets have gone a little bit higher, my hope is when the 20 pack or the 10 pack of these, Sage precons come out, that between all of them, because technically they're supposed to be competitive decks, right? And if every deck we're thinking is damn near competitive is going to run, especially the Icelander deck runs Blade Beckoner as the most part for the equipment anyways, I would really hope that Blade Beckoner is going to be in this. Or if nothing else, between buying, let's say you buy the full stack of 10, between that you're going to get a full set of something. Caveat, we still don't know anything about Pin, and there could be a chance that there is new equipment and new cards in these decks that we're only thinking of the right now, but those decks could have been designed with cards from the next set already implemented in them, meaning there might be equipment and things that you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing, and now you just have it, and we won't know what those are.
I think that's the concept, is that they are putting cards from Pen into these decks. So there could just be new generic cards that are available for play in the armor slot for some of these.
It's not important. I was trying to do a metric at one point to try to figure out how many cards were legal in the whole format of Sage, and it's a lot more than I originally thought. So there's still a lot of variety to pick.
For sure.
But yeah, Alex, I think that's everything. So for those that have tuned in, thank you. And hopefully this has been an informative video, and I'll get this out fairly quickly because I know I have put something out recently, but life has been very busy, work has been busy, and this is definitely one of those things where if you enjoy, go find a store, go play, go hang out with your friends, and talk shop, enjoy. Alex, any final comments?
Not really. If you're going to Worlds, I'm going to be there. So at least I'm going to try to be there. Apparently there's issues with flights recently, so
there's a whole thing with that right now. I have a friend that works...
we don't even need to get on that.
Yeah.
But that's currently my worry, but I'll be worried about it once I actually get the email that a flight has been canceled. Then I'll figure out a problem from that point forward. But until then, just know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that I'm at Worlds, because it's an event I've already paid for. It's an event I've already done all this stuff for. I plan to be there. Whether or not I have to drive 23 hours to go and get there, I'm going to make sure to get there because I want to be at Worlds.
I'll have a couch you can crash on as a halfway point. Not really. I mean, it's probably close to halfway. So.
Yeah, a little bit close to halfway. So that'll be not bad. But we'll see. Like I said, fingers crossed, everything's gonna be fine. But I'll be at Worlds, so if anybody wants to jam games with me at Worlds, I'll be there. There is also, if nobody is aware that happens to watch this, but is also not on like Twitter or anything, there will be a Silver Age event on Friday. Friday night of the World Championship. There will be a Silver Age event hosted by DM Armada and TO'd by Dice Commando. I will also be there. I'm not doing any kind of moderation or anything. I'm pretty much just entering
community-led effort, if I recall on that. Yeah.
Yep. It's a community event, so we're just going to some hotel lobby and jamming games and getting stuff done, and that's kind of the purpose of it. It's like later, way later at night. So if that is something that you're interested in, be sure to hang out with us at night. We'll play some Sage.
Yep. If I was going, I definitely would. But current stuff says need to stay here. So enjoy me, and I'll live vicariously through what you're going to experience. So
I will. There will be plenty of footage, so it'll be a good time.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, your games be fun and your friendships grow. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Kitty says bye-bye. Kitty says jump.